Hello there, everybody. This is Dr. Mark Stickney with Spay Neuter Network coming at you from our Spay Neuter Network studios in San Antonio, Texas. It is December 4, 2024, almost the end of the year. Those of you who have joined us in the past will notice that our background looks a little bit different this time, and that is because we have a very exciting announcement that we will be making in January at the start of the new year, 2025. So there's a little teaser of some exciting things to come. For it still being 2024, this is a time that we can take a look back at a lot of the things that we have accomplished over this past year. And I would like to stress that there are so many things that we have been able to do, and it is all related to the generosity of y'all. Everyone who has helped by donating to Spay Neuter Network with financial resources, with time and personal resources. All of that has made a tremendous difference in the lives of animals in our communities and in helping us to accomplish our mission. Our holiday giving campaign is still going on. It's going on now all the way through December 31. So if you are able to donate, please do so at spayneuternet.org. And then we will have a link that we will post to take you directly there to make it really easy for you as well. Thanks to your generosity here over this past year, we've been able to do a lot of things. We have been able to spay and neuter nearly 30,000 pets, which has eliminated countless future litters and millions of dogs and cats that would have absolutely no place to go. So because of your generosity, we have been able to accomplish the primary goal of our mission, which is to reduce pet overpopulation through spay and neuter. And 30,000 pets have had that happen as a result of that. We have also been able to achieve our wellness mission by providing affordable vaccinations and wellness services to over 14,000 dogs and cats in our communities, keeping them healthy and safe. I have said this before, and I will say it again, that the vaccination is the second most important thing that has prevented disease spread and saved lives. The only other thing that has been more important is figuring out that clean drinking water is an important thing to have to drink so that you don't get sick from drinking your water. So our ability to vaccinate all of these animals has made a tremendous difference in their health and the health of other animals in the community. So thank you for that. Your generosity has also aided our pet support and pet support and resource center. And through that, we have been able to support 12,000 pets by offering resources to their families and the things that they need to care for their furry companions. So, so many of us, our pets are members of our families. They can't talk and they can't wash the dishes or anything, but they can certainly provide us with so much joy and reasons to do the things that we do and really enlighten our lives. So being able to help 12,000 animals and their families to have a stronger relationship has been just wonderful. But we still have so much to do. Pet overpopulation is still a critical issue. Remember, if we have one dog have a litter of puppies, in 6 years, we have 78,000 more dogs. And that growth just continues exponentially. So every single animal that we are able to spay or neuter makes a tremendous difference in pet overpopulation. So there are areas where access to veterinary care is extremely limited, and your generosity and support of Spay Neuter Network allows us to reach out to those areas. Demand for our services continues to grow, and with your support, we are committed to taking on all of these these challenges we have for pet overpopulation and pet wellness into 2025, the next year, and beyond. Thank you so much for your support and ability to help us. If you are able to, please continue to contribute to our holiday giving campaign for the remainder of this year. Starting tomorrow, in other news, starting tomorrow is the first Thursday's free fix for feral and community cats at Dallas Animal Services. There is a link that we will have on our event page for this event. You do have to be a resident of the city of Dallas to participate in this. There are some other requirements as well, so please go and check out the link on our Facebook event page in order to get all of the information on that. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is the day for this. So if you have a cat that needs to be fixed, that needs to be spayed or neutered, tomorrow is the day to do it. If you live in the city of Dallas. So please look into that, and hopefully that is something that will be able to help you out and help your cat out. December 5, which is also tomorrow, is National Volunteer Day. I've said this before, and I will say it again. We could not do what we do without all of the volunteers that help us. So thank you so much, volunteers. I know we have volunteers in San Antonio that come and help us. I know that we have them up in the Dallas area and the Crandall area, and thank you so much. Being a volunteer with Spay Neuter Network is a very rewarding, it's work, but it's a lot of fun and very rewarding. It's a great way to help us and to help your community. We always need more volunteers in our clinics. We need them to help us with our fundraising. We need them for special events that we throw. So if you are a volunteer, thank you so much, and please continue to volunteer with us in the new year. We appreciate it so much. And if you would like to begin volunteering with us, please go to our website at spayneuternet.org/volunteer, and all of the information you need in order to start volunteering with us will be there, and we hope that you will be able to join us. So we are going to, as always, talk about, we're going to answer your questions as they come in, and December is also National Cat Lovers Month. So we'll be talking about things that we do for the cats that we love here as we have time as well between questions. And I have some here where here I've got my cat ears. Oh, here they are. So we'll be able to, because we love cats, so we can wear our cat ears. I have two cats at home, and they may not always act like they love me, but I do love them. So let's see here. There's the link on the free Community Cat Day in Dallas that has just popped up on the feed, and let's see here. Here is a question that has come in. Is there a way to give flea prevention to feral cats you can't get close to? Oh, that's a great question. There's not an easy answer to that. So the flea preventatives that we use most commonly are the topical ones, the ones that go between the cat's shoulder blades. So there is not going to be an effective way to get that on the cats if they won't let you get near them. That's a wonderful question. There is the cat's not going to let you touch it. It's not going to, and those fleas are just that's going to be an issue that is going to be a challenging thing to take care of. I don't have a good answer for you for that. What I would say is that the more pets in the area that are on flea prevention, that will decrease the overall population of fleas. And the fleas that don't die from those flea preventatives often will lay eggs that are unable to hatch. So by having a community of animals that are on flea preventative, we are able to reduce the overall number of fleas in the area, and that will help our feral cats that we're not able to get close to and get a hold of. All right. Good question. Good question. That's just one of the feral cats are, they are cats are just amazing animals, and it's amazing how they can, interact in the neighborhood and in the environment, and a lot of pest control that none of us ever realize happens because of those cats, and they're just cool animals to watch. But they're also cats, and if a cat wants you to come to it will, and if it doesn't, then a lot of times it won't. But we can hopefully then indirectly help those cats that way. Right. So December is cat lovers month, and cats, like I was just saying, they're really neat. So many people have this impression of a cat being sort of an aloof animal, and not an easy animal to love. It doesn't just come and uh, jump all over you as soon as you get home like a dog does. But they've got their own thing going. They can be sassy, and they can be very independent, and some of them will do tricks if they feel like doing them at that time. But they're also energetic and lovable, and you're sitting there on the couch, and maybe you've had a rough day, and I don't know how it is the cat knows it, but it'll come and sit in your lap, and it'll just start purring away, and that's just a really, really nice feeling. I read a really interesting thing the other day about cats, and why it is that a cat always wants to be on the other side of a door that is closed. And basically, what that is that it's not so much that the cat wants to get on the other side of the door, it's that it wants to know what's going on the other side of the door. And, once that door is open, the cat will take a look, and maybe it wants to go over there, but maybe it doesn't. It just wants to see what it wasn't being allowed to see. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. There are a lot of things that we can be doing to keep our cats healthy. And this, we've already touched on this a little bit with that feral cat question, is all of our cats need to be on flea preventative, because whether I have an indoor cat or an indoor outdoor cat or an outdoor cat, fleas in Texas are a major problem. It's getting chilly now, but in order for flea eggs that are in the environment to die, you have to have about 2 months of consistently below freezing temperatures and very, very low humidity. And that almost never happens in Texas, and never happens here in San Antonio. So all of those little flea eggs are just waiting to start hatching and hopping on our pets, on our dogs and on our cats. And if there is a if there even if our cats are indoor only, fleas will hop on us on our way in and out of the door, and the next thing you know, you've got a flea in the house. And one flea takes a bite, and a female flea can lay about 50 eggs a day, and those just fall off in your house, and they're going to hatch in a few days. And where I had no fleas, now I have a big flea infestation. So flea prevention is one of those things where an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And all of our pets, our dogs and our cats, all want to be on monthly flea prevention to keep that from being a problem. All right, what is needed to set up a spay neuter van in my area? That is a great question. I am going to refer that to our media guy Jacob to put in a response to that. Another thing to think about with our okay, and here's another question though. Should you always have at least two indoor cats, or are they okay with just their people? So, I think that cats are generally okay with just their people. It can be a challenge to introduce a new cat to a house where you already have a cat. If you want to get two cats as kittens and have them grow up together, that's fantastic, because they're used to each other. They are happy. That's life as they know it. But if I have one cat who's doing great, there is not a need to add a second cat. You want to have that cat have some things to keep his life enriched. You want something to be able to jump around and climb around and have exercise and activities, and maybe some toys to play with, different cat activities to have. But you don't necessarily have to have two indoor cats. We had one indoor cat for a long time, and then we decided to get a second cat, and they have to this day are not friends with each other. And there's sometime around 2 or 3 in the morning, you'll always hear this row, 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 as they become upset with each other. So you don't have to have two, but you do want to make sure that if you do have only one, that it has enrichment activities to keep it happy there in your house. And cats love to be able to look out the windows, so having those accessible for them to be able to sit up and look out the window is a great thing for them as well. And there is a link that has also been posted here for volunteering for Spay Neuter Network. So that is great. That's going to be right there. Okay, and I see that Jacob has responded to you for Melissa for the thing about setting up the van in your area. So wonderful. Another thing to think about with our cats and enrichment and stuff is that the holidays are here. And that means that we have a lot of activity going on around the house, a lot of new things like trees getting put up, people coming over, gifts, toys, presents, all kinds of things. And some of those can be kind of hazardous, and in some cases really hazardous for our cats. So that's one of the things that we want to think about here as we are loving our cats for the holidays. A few things to be aware of is that with the increased traffic of folks coming to visit and coming in and out of our home, that is a great opportunity for our cat to accidentally go slipping out that door if they're indoor only cats. And the indoor only cat doesn't know what to do when they're outside, and they can get really, really freaked out and scared and run off. And now we've got a missing cat. So I would say 2 important things for this is that, number one, have all of your pets, but all of your cats microchipped. And that way, should they get loose and get lost, when they are found, they will be able to be scanned with that microchip, and they will be able to get back to your home. Microchips are the most reliable way for a lost pet to find its way back, and it is very, very difficult for a lost pet to ever be found again if they do not have a microchip. So have your pet microchipped. It only takes a second. It's one little needle stick between their shoulder blades, and then they are microchipped for life. And microchipping is one of the things that we do at Spay Neuter Network every day. So if your pet's not microchipped, please get it microchipped. The other thing is that if I have cats in the house and I know I'm having company, I might want to have that cat in a location where it will not be able to slip out the door and not feel like its world is being turned upside down, because now I have a house full of relatives and grandma and grandpa and cousins and little kids, and the cat, that's not what they signed up for, right? They think that the cat lives in the house, it's the king, it's the queen, and we're the staff. And we did not give permission for all of those people to come into the house. So let's have our cats be someplace where they won't be able to slip out the door, and where they'll be able to be someplace where they feel safe and not overwhelmed by things. As we are doing our decorations and putting ribbons on gifts and things like that, remember that cats think it's great fun to play with strings and ribbons and shiny things like tinsel. And while that is kind of exciting, and it sure looks funny to watch the cat play with those things, those are potentially what are called linear foreign bodies, which means that the cat eats that thing and it will get stuck in their GI tract, and will when that happens and it gets stuck, its little intestines will try to keep pushing that piece of string along through the GI tract, but it gets stuck, and because of that, the intestines keep rubbing up against that, and that acts like a little bit of a saw and ends up cutting through the cat's intestines, and they can become very ill from that and ultimately die from that. So we want to be very aware of strings, threads, ribbons, yarn, tinsel, and make sure that our cats are not messing with those things to avoid an emergency visit and emergency surgery to take out a linear foreign body. So we want to make sure that we keep all of that clear, and we know where all of that is. Here are a couple of other questions that came in. My cat's eyes are consistently irritated, and he has lots of eye boogers. Could he be allergic to something in the house? Potentially so. Cat allergies are not nearly as common as dog allergies, but they can occur. Things that can commonly cause allergies in pets are going to be things like a lot of dust and irritants in the air. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our house dusted and clean, vacuuming regularly, and changing out our air filters so that there's not a lot of buildup of things like that in there. Other possibilities for this would be that we have some degree of an upper respiratory infection, and that the eyes and the nose are all very connected. So if I have very irritated eyes, it could be the result of having a respiratory infection. And if that's the case, we want to go and see our veterinarian and get that checked out and see what we needed to do for that. My husband thinks my cat is chunky, but I think he's fine. I know cats come in all sizes, but what is a good rule for knowing they are at a healthy weight? That is an excellent question. It is very important that we keep our pets, our dogs and our cats, at a lean body weight. Pets that are overweight live an average of 2 to 3 years shorter than pets that are overweight. So there's no such thing as fat and healthy when it comes to our pets, and probably not for me either, as I've been overeating here at Thanksgiving. But we want them to be in a nice lean weight. So there's a couple of things that you can do to assess your cat's body condition and tell if you're at a good weight. The first thing is that when you pet them and you're rubbing the side of their body along their rib cage, you want to be able to easily feel the ribs as you pet them, but you don't want to be able to see their ribs. So if I pet my cat and my hand goes do across the ribs, but I don't look at that cat and I say, oh, that cat needs to eat something, I can see all of its ribs. Okay, that's not good. That's underweight. But if I can feel those ribs without having to push down through a layer of fat, that's a good sign. The other thing that I can do is take a look at my cat, kind of a bird's eye view, looking down on my cat. And when I do that, I want to see sort of an oblong hourglass. I'm going to draw a quick little picture here. You'll see my artistic skills. Okay, so here is my cat. Here's my cat's head, okay? And then I'm going to see his torso, his chest, kind of flare out, and then when I get back toward his hips, I want to see it tuck back in again, and then it'll flare out again a little bit. So it's kind of an oblong hourglass. If I look down on him and I see basically two straight lines, then he's overweight. So that is a kind of an easy way to tell that. Now, of course, some cats are long-haired cats, and that makes that assessment a bit more difficult. But that is a good rule of thumb overall. And you can always next time you see your veterinarian or come to Spay Neuter Network for your vaccines, ask about that, and we can give you some guidance on that and let you know whether we think your pet's at a good condition or if they need to lose a little bit of weight. One of the things that is a common cause of obesity in cats is free feeding them. So, just filling up the bowl and letting them eat as much as they want to eat. I have one cat that is a little grazer and she does great, but I have another cat that will, literally eat until the bowl is empty and then meow for me to fill it again. So I have to be very careful with his food intake and know exactly how much food I'm putting in that bowl each day. Even if he wants to gobble it up all at once, that's all he's going to get. And if I don't do that, he will put on weight in a real hurry. What does catnip do to cats? Is it really okay? So number one, yes, catnip is perfectly fine. Your cat cannot like overdose on catnip or anything like that. So you don't need to worry about that. But catnip reacts with some chemical mediators that affect the cat's brain, and it basically gives them, from what we can tell, a real sense of euphoria and kind of a high. And all of a sudden, life is great, and they're rolling around on the ground, and they're meowing, and they're playing with whatever's around, and it's really really funny to watch, and they seem to have a good time doing it. And after they've had the catnip, usually within about 20 minutes or so, they're right back to normal. So you can't give them too much catnip. It certainly doesn't seem to harm them, and certainly seems like it's something they like. However, not all cats have that chemical receptor, so not every cat will respond to catnip. And if that's the case, then they couldn't care less. They're just going to go on about their day. But if you get them some kind of catnip treats for toys for Christmas or the holidays or whatever, it won't hurt them, and they will have a good time, and you'll have a good time watching them. So nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Can't hurt them. Excellent questions, everybody. Let's see. As we're setting up our decorations, cats like to climb things. So if you've got a Christmas tree up, or you have some kind of decorations you're hanging on the walls, the cat will may try to climb the tree, or if it sees something within reach that it can jump up on the wall and get a hold of, it might try to do that. So keep an eye out for that. We don't want them to hurt themselves or knock over a Christmas tree or something like that. Okay, how do you know if your cat is anemic? Okay, so the way to know for sure would be to have some blood work checked at your veterinarian, and they will look at two values. One of those is the hemoglobin level, and one of those is called the packed cell volume, or PCV. And there's a range for normal cats where that should be, and if it's below that range, then the cat is anemic. Things that you can use as a guide for that at home are to look at their gums. A cat's gums should be nice and pink, and if they start to look pale, then that can be a sign of anemia. There is another test that we look at, which is called the capillary refill time, and that's where if you lifted up your cat's gum and you could see his lip and you could see his gums, if you quickly pushed on his gum, and so it will blanch white. You'll take your finger off, it'll blanch white for a second, and within 2 seconds it should go back to that normal pink color. And if it doesn't do that, that can also be a sign that your cat is anemic or that it is dehydrated, and in that case you would want to see your veterinarian as well and have some blood work checked. Let's see here. All right, my cat started to have discharge from his butt. It's not every day though. That is a good question. I'm not exactly sure what that might be. Cats cats do have tiny little anal glands back there, just like dogs do, and they can have a discharge that comes from that. They may be full and need to be expressed. A cat that has diarrhea could have discharge, or if they have a GI parasite infection, they could have sort of a mucoid discharge from their behind. If that is happening, that might be something that you want to take it to your veterinarian and have checked out and just see exactly what's going on there. Excellent questions. Excellent questions. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up here in just another minute or so. I'll keep an eye out for another question that comes along. In the meantime, as part of Cat Lovers Month, preventative care is one of the best things that we can do for our cat, and they don't understand that, and they don't appreciate it when they are coming in to get their vaccines each year. But that is one of the best things that we can do to help keep them safe and healthy. Vaccinating them for rabies, for getting their FVRCP vaccine, which protects them against a number of different upper respiratory diseases. Getting their feline leukemia vaccine, which is an infectious disease that can be spread from cat to cat, that can cause them a lot of medical problems, and then getting their rabies vaccine Cats are get can get exposed to rabies from being outdoors, and they run into a skunk that they decide to fight, or a sick bat that they start playing with and the bat bites them, and that's how they can get rabies. So making sure that we are taking good care of them and vaccinating them is one of the best things that we can do. I hope everybody has a safe and happy and healthy holiday season, and I will look forward to seeing everybody in January. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.